Yes, sir. Willie Epting Jr., CEO, creator of the ShakeBack Media Group. And of course, on behalf of the Big Game Christian Sports Network, want to take a moment to thank everybody out there for making the ShakeBack Sports Show, the flagship 1A, for making this project the number one listened to show on the BGC Sports Network for the year 2023. Couldn't have done it without all the listeners, everyone that contributed. Man, the show, 12s and 6s, 1s and 7s, Saturdays and Sundays. Come on and holler at your boy as we continue to do big things with the network. Holla! Yes, sir. And that is exactly what this is. Thank you guys out there for continuing to support the vision that is the ShakeBack Sports Show, along with the Big Game Christian Sports Network and the ShakeBack Media Group. Big things are in store for 2024. All right, just in case you guys missed it in the first segment, the hashtag Brothers of Baseball stepped into the ShakeBack Sports Show's room and gave props to the first time or the new Hall of Fame ballotees or new inductees for the Hall of Fame. That, of course, Adrian Beltre, 95% of the vote, Joe Mauer, and, of course, Todd Helton. Congratulations to those young men for getting into the Hall and being immortalized forever in the annals of pro baseball, and that is the Major League Baseball. Make sure you guys tune into the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show every Monday through Friday, 12s and 6s, 1s and 7s on the Network 1 and the Network 2 Central Time to get your baseball fix. And not only that, baseball is right around the corner as pitchers and catchers will be reporting within the next 3 weeks. We will have a full-fledged MLB baseball season preview as we get closer to that. All right, to the dopest engineer on the globe, Big Day, what's happening? Sports fans all over the globe, you already know what time it is. We're going to get to some NFL here in just a second. Before we move any further, though, this second segment, it is being brought to you by Front End Sports. Front End Sports is dedicated to empowering athletes, teams, and organizations with cutting-edge social media, merchandising, and NIL strategies to help your brand through innovative and personalized solutions. Their team consists of experienced professionals with diverse backgrounds in sports, marketing, design, and technology who share a passion for helping others to succeed and unlock their full potential. Make sure you go to frontendsports.com and holler at them and tell them that your boy Willie Epting Jr. from the ShakeBack Sports Show, the ShakeBack Media Group, and of course the Big Game Christian Sports Network told you to holler at them so y'all can set it off. And speaking of the Front End Sports, the ShakeBack Media Group will be joining Front End Sports and the Big Game Christian Sports Network in Las Vegas, Nevada, from February the 2nd through February the 5th. February the 5th. We will be out there in conjunction with Front End Sports and the Big Game Christian Sports Network as we will be putting on a sports media coaching etiquette class for some of the ladies that play in the tackle football league that Front End is affiliated with. So we are very excited about going to Vegas on the 2nd. This will be a business trip. If we can squeeze in some pleasure, of course we're gonna do that. It's Vegas, so why not? All right. Before we actually get into the on the field stuff in the NFL, how can we not talk about the coaching carousel that leaves only 2 spots open as of tape time? And that will be the Washington Commanders and the Washington Commanders and the Seattle Seahawks. The Atlanta Falcons job was filled over the past week. Congratulations to Coach Raheem Morris. He, of course, was the defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams. And he's heading off to Atlanta to continue to build that roster that has a lot of great pieces on it, specifically on defense and really on offense, too, with the skill positions. When you talk about a Kyle Pitts, when you talk about a Bijan Robinson, when you talk about a Drake London, Those guys, man, look, they could be a potential threesome themselves or potential triplets themselves. They need to get a quarterback in there ASAP. They haven't really had anything since Matt Ryan retired. Desmond Ridder, who they drafted in the 4th round a few years ago, is not the answer. Taylor Heineke rather, is not the answer long term, although he can clean up and come in for your starter for a few games if and when that happens. So Raheem Morris is the latest to conclude or to fill in for a coaching spot in the NFL with the Commanders and the Seahawks remaining. Oh, by the way, thank you guys out there for checking us out on Facebook, through my personal page, through the media group's Facebook page, as well as the networks, my LinkedIn page, YouTube, Twitter, and of course, Instagram TV. Excuse me. Excuse me. I got a bird in my chest or in my throat. I see you guys out there watching on Instagram TV. We appreciate it. We see you guys out there watching on all the other platforms. We appreciate that as well. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and we appreciate all the support. Okay, yeah, and a few other things about the coaches, because if you noticed, 2 big names that I did not mention, really one big name that was not mentioned, and that is Bill Belichick. What is going to happen to Bill Belichick? Where is he going to wind up? Is he going to be out for a year? Because the signs pointed to him potentially getting that Falcons job. He hasn't been tied to any of the other 2 jobs with Seattle or with Washington, even though he's from the Washington, D.C. area. And there was a lot of reporting or speculation, rather, about him possibly going to the Commanders because of that very reason. But now to hear that the all-time greatest coach in NFL history could be without a job in 2024, it's kind of staggering. And I understand that he's 72 years old. I understand that, he implemented the Patriot way. And I understand that the Patriot way may only work for a certain generation of players. But still, if Bill Belichick, the head coach, has the ability, has the wherewithal, has the humility enough to say, yo, I need to scale down a little bit of what we were in Foxborough, because this breed of players is not the same. This generation of players is not the same that it was 25 years ago, or whenever it was that he actually got the job in Foxborough. I think it was 24. So I think he spent 25 years ago. So he spent 24 seasons there. This group of players is not that same kind of, they don't have that same kind of mentality. And I've been watching a lot of talk radio, I've been watching a lot of talk shows, sports talk shows from the analysts and those that played the game in the NFL at the highest level. And a lot of stuff that I heard was that Bill Belichick, yes, he has 6 Super Bowl rings. Yes, he has appeared in 9 Super Bowls total, but he's 72 years old. And he may not have the relatability to these players. You just can't just go in there and slam your resume down on the table and say, yo, I got 6 Super Bowl championships, and that just be it. Because I think a lot of people, whether it's GMs, whether it's owners, whether it's whoever, are looking at Bill Belichick from the time that Tom Brady moved on to what he's done since then and be like, yo, this kid ain't really done much. They went to the playoffs Mac Jones's first year after he pushed Brady out of the door. They went to the playoffs that first year, but it's been a climatic decline ever since. You think about what Mac Jones was as a quarterback as a rookie. You're supposed to get better as you age or as you gain more experience in the NFL or for anything for that matter. But Mac Jones's production was like the Cliffman game on The Price is Right back in the day. I know y'all don't know nothing about that, but yodel-a-hoo, yodel-a-dee-hoo. But then when he got to the top, he fell off. That is what Mac Jones has been. And that is a direct reflection of the tutelage or lack thereof of one Bill Belichick. It really is. Whether you bring in Matt Patricia to be your offensive coordinator, who is a defensive guy, who got ran out of Detroit, and we're going to get to Detroit here in just a second, who got ran out of Detroit, and then you got Joe Judge, who got ran out of New York for being a so-called tough guy. Now, he didn't get run out of New York for that, but you know what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you can't put the careers of these young players into the hands of coaches like that who don't have a clue and then expect for them to be successful. The one thing about leadership and the one thing about a manager or a supervisor or a coach is that you have to put your people in the best positions to be successful. That did not happen in Foxborough with Mac Jones. That defense, it did, but not with Mac Jones. And now everybody's looking at Mac Jones. What up, Leslie? Everybody's looking at Mac Jones like, yo, this kid can't play. And I don't believe that you go from being an elite and a Heisman Trophy candidate at the University of Alabama. Yeah, you had Devontae Smith to throw the ball to. Yeah, you had Jalen Waddle to throw the ball to. I understand you had Jameson Williams to throw the ball to. I get that. But what I'm saying is that your first year in the NFL, you were a Pro Bowler. And you don't just all of a sudden forget how to play football. You don't forget how to have a quick release. You don't forget how to be accurate with your passes. You don't forget those things. That is a direct result of lack of coaching, in my opinion, or the lack of development, if you will, from the head coach and or his assistants. That's just what it was. So now Bill Belichick, you know, who's going to hire him after the 24 season when he's getting ready to turn 73 years old? I wouldn't hire him. And we could be looking at the days where we have seen Coach Belichick coach his last game. Seriously, because the market for him has shrunk to almost closure. I don't see him going to Seattle unless something crazy happens and steam picks up. Maybe he'll go to the Commanders. But does he really want to go? Does he really want that job? I mean, the Commanders, Bill Belichick is not going to be in a position to where he needs to rebuild a roster and make them a viable contender in the next 3 to 5 years. That's not going to happen. He's too old. And I'm not saying that he's going to die. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that he is too old. He will be too old for that matter. And that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. His mind could be razor sharp. But again, look at the decisions that he has made with the roster for the Patriots these last 4 years, whatever it's been since Tom Brady left. And remember, he is the one that said Tom Brady was cooked. And Tom Brady left and went on and won a Super Bowl and went to the playoffs again after that. Bill Belichick and the Patriots have been to the playoffs one time since Tom Brady left. Tom Brady won a Super Bowl. The Patriots lost in a wild card game to the Patriots. I'm sorry, the Bills. They can't lose to themselves. They can beat themselves, but they can't lose to themselves. So that's it. And then Pete Carroll on the other side of the coin. I mean, like, yo, what's gonna happen with him? Because he ain't that much younger. I shouldn't say I think because I don't really know and I don't want to speculate. But what I will say is this: is that Pete Carroll has the energetic vibe that you need, in my opinion, to be able to work and build a franchise and relate to this particular generation. I think he actually has more adaptability to do that than Bill Belichick does. And at this point, to me, it's not even a point of who's the better coach. It's like who's the better man, or who's going to be the better man that can lead these men. And I just don't see a market for Bill Belichick for that to happen. You know, and Pete Carroll, he's still with the squad. He's still with the franchise in Seattle in an advisory role. So I don't know if there's a contract involved in that. I'm pretty sure there is. But what will it take for him to get out of that contract, to go to another squad? What would it take? And then, of course, who's going to get that gig in Seattle? Interesting times, I'm telling you, in the NFL. Okay. We're going to finish up the segment, and what we don't get to this side or on this side, I'll come back on the other side. So make sure you guys tune into the show. 12s and 6s, 1s and 7s, all day Saturday, or I should say all day, on around the clock on Saturday and Sunday, 12s and 6s, 1s and 7s. Let's go ahead and get on the field and talk about the divisional round, because the Kansas City Chiefs, I hate them. I think they may have buried the chances for Buffalo to really take advantage of this window. This Kansas City Chiefs team went into Buffalo and beat the Bills 27-24. And what they needed to do, they did. They did everything that was required for them to have a victory in this game, to come out and have a victory in this game. No debilitating penalties, no pressures on the quarterback, no sacks on the quarterback. Patrick Mahomes wasn't even knocked down. The receivers did not drop any passes. The running game got going, and the defense bowled up when they needed to. This was the most vulnerable Chiefs team that we've seen in recent memory. And when I tell you that I hate them because they were supposed to lose this game. And I don't know if it's more of an indictment on Buffalo, or does it speak more to the greatness that is Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid? Because the Buffalo Bills, in my opinion, even with all of the injuries that they have had on the defensive side of the ball, and it really showed up. It really showed up in the fourth quarter when they could not get off the field, when Kansas City was stopping the run, and they had a chance to actually get the ball back, but they could not stop the Chiefs running game. Isaiah Pacheco runs the ball like he just robbed a bank. I mean, he runs the ball with so much violence. It ain't even funny. I get worried about this kid. He reminds me of Jonathan Abram on the defensive side that will hit like a missile, and you just can't stop him. He's like a tank. So I'm gonna say that this is an indictment on Buffalo, because injuries happen, and whether you believe Josh Allen was to blame for this loss, or whether he had something to do with this loss, that could be debated. I don't think he should be blamed for the loss. He didn't have any turnovers. It's not his fault that, well, I will say this, because we talked about this on the show Enough Divided, and Brian said it. I think he said it best. The reason why Josh Allen will remain a tier below Patrick Mahomes is really Patrick Mahomes, and then the second tier, which is Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson, and possibly Justin Herbert. The reason why he will remain a tier below those guys is because of what Brian said about the decision making on that last drive when they missed that field goal, because there were openings and opportunities underneath that Josh decided to try to go to the end zone on. And I was like, yo, those are the decisions that you have to make and execute in order to become that next tier type of quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. So indictment, no. A little bit of the blame, potentially. Is he at fault? Definitely not. Come on back to the other side of the break. We're going to get to some more NFL. Willie Epting Jr., ShakeBack Sports Show. Y'all come back and holler at us.